Genesis 46. Joseph's whole family in Egypt. So Jacob left Canaan. He took everything that belonged to him. When he came to Beersheba, he offered sacrifice to God, the God of his father Isaac. During the night, God spoke to Israel in a dream. He said, "Jacob, Jacob." Jacob replied, "Yes, I am here." God said, "I am God. I am the God that your father worshipped. Do not be afraid to go to Egypt. Your descendants will be very many so that you become a great nation there. I will go with you to Egypt. I will also bring you back again. Joseph will be with you when you die." Then Jacob left Beersheba and he continued to travel. Jacob's sons took their father as well as their wives and children. They rode in the cart that Pharaoh had sent to take them to Egypt. They also took all their animals and everything that they had got in Canaan. In that way, Jacob and all his family went to Egypt. He took his son and his grandsons, his daughter and granddaughters. He took all his family with him to Egypt. These are the names of descendants of Israel who went to Egypt. That is the son of Jacob. Reuben was the first son of Jacob. The son of Reuben, Hanach, Palau, Hezron, and Carmi. The son of Simeon, Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Johar, and Saul, and the son of a Canaanite woman, the son of Levi, Gerson, Kohat, and Merari, the son of Judah, Onan, Selah, Perez, and Zerah, but and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The son of Perez were Herzon and Hamul. The son of Issachar, Tola, Tuah, Joshua, and Shimron. The son of Gibron, Serad, Eran, and Jahiel. These were the sons of the Leah gave birth to in Padan Aram. Jacob was their father. Leah also gave birth to a daughter, Dinah. These sons and daughters of Jacob were 33 in all. The son of God, Jephon, Hagi, Sunni, Ejibon, Eri, Arodi, and Aleli. The son of Asher, Imma, Ishbah, Ishiva, and Beriah. Their sister was Sarah. The son of Beriah were Behaviah and Markiel. These were the children that Zilpah gave birth to. Jacob was their father. Leah gave Zilpah to Jacob as a wife. There were 16 children in all. In son of Jacob's wife Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. Manasseh and Ephraim were born to Jacob in Egypt. Their mother was Asenath, daughter of Polypera, priest of On. The son of Benjamin, Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Eri, Rosh, Mumpim, Humpim, and Ard. These were the sons of Rachel, born to Jacob. There were 14 in all. The son of Dan, Hushim. The son of Naphtali, Jerjiel, Guni, Jerjer, and Sirmlem. These were the son of that Bilhah gave birth to. She was Rachel's servant that Laban gave to her. Bilhah gave birth to these sons for Jacob. There were 7 in all. Jacob's descendants who went with him to Egypt were 66. That doesn't include his sons' wives. Joseph had 2 sons that were born in Egypt. So there were 70 people of Jacob's family who were there in Egypt. Then Jacob sent Judah to go to Joseph before he got there himself. He learned how to get to Goshen, and they arrived there. Joseph prepared his carrot, and he went to Goshen to meet Jacob, his father. When they met, Joseph hugged his father and he wept for a long time. Jacob said to Joseph, "Now I am ready to die. I have seen for myself that you are still alive." Then Joseph spoke to his brothers and to his father's people. He said, "I will go and say to Pharaoh, my brothers and all my father's people have arrived here from Canaan. The men are shepherds. They take care of their animals. They have brought with them their sheep, goats, and cow, and everything that they have. Pharaoh will call you to meet him. He will ask you, 'What is your job?' Then you should answer, 'We have always taken care of cow and sheep since we were young men. Our ancestor has always done this work. Egyptian does not want to live near people who take care of sheep, so Pharaoh will let you stay in the region called Goshen." Genesis 47. Joseph works well for his master Pharaoh. Joseph went to Pharaoh. He told him, "My father and brother have arrived from Canaan. They have come with their animals and everything that belongs to them. They are now in Goshen." Joseph took 5 of his brothers to go with him to meet Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked the brothers, "What is your job?" The brothers replied, "We are shepherds, sir. We take care of animals, just like our ancestors did." They also said to Pharaoh, "We have come to stay here for a short time, because there is a bad famine in Canaan. Our animals doesn't have any grass to eat there. Please, sir, let us stay in Goshen." Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Your father and your brother have now come to you. The whole land of Egypt is here for them. Your father and brothers should stay in the best part of the land. They may live in Goshen. You should choose the best shepherds from among them to take care of my own animals." Then Joseph brought his father Jacob to meet Pharaoh. Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh asked Jacob, "How old are you?" Jacob replied, "I've been alive for 130 years. My years have been few, and they have been difficult. I have not lived for as long as my ancestor lived." Then Jacob blessed Pharaoh again, and he left. So Jacob helped his father and his brother to make their home in Egypt. He gave them a good place to live in the best region of Egypt. This was the region that is now called Ramses. Joseph did for his family what Pharaoh had told him to do. Joseph also sent food to his father, his brother, and all his father's people. He gave them enough food for themselves and all their children. But because the famine was bad, no food grew in all of Egypt. As a result, the people of Egypt and Canaan became hungry and weak. Joseph received money from the people when he sold the food to them. He took all the money to Pharaoh's palace. Soon the people of Egypt and Canaan did not have any more money. All the Egyptians went to Joseph and they said, "Give us food to eat. If not, we'll die. We do not have any more money." Joseph said to the people, "If we have no money, bring me your animals. I'll give you food if you pay me with your animals instead of money." So the people brought their animals to Joseph. They brought horses, sheep, goats, cow, and donkeys. Joseph sold food to them in return for their animals. In that way, he sold enough food for them to eat that year. When that year finished, the people came to Joseph again. They said to him, "Sir, you know that we don't have any more money. Our animals now belong to you. We have nothing left to give to you. We only have our land and our own bodies. Do not let us die here and now. Do not destroy our land. If you give food to us, we'll pay you with ourselves and with our land. We'll become Pharaoh's slaves. Our land will become Pharaoh's land. Give us grain to eat and seed to plant. Then we'll not die. Our field will not be empty." Joseph brought all the land in Egypt for Pharaoh's. Because the famine was very bad, all the Egyptians sold their field to buy food. So all the land now belonged to Pharaoh. Joseph made all the people become slaves wherever they lived in Egypt. But Joseph didn't buy the land which belonged to the priest. Pharaoh himself gave the priest enough food, so the priest didn't have to sell their land. Joseph said to the people, "Now I have bought you and your land for Pharaoh, so I will give you some seed to plant in your field. But when the plants are ready to eat, you must give 1/5 part to Pharaoh. You may keep the other for part. You may keep it for seed to plant again, and you may eat it. It will be food for you, for your people, and for your children." The people said, "You have saved our lives. Because you have been kind to us, we agreed to become Pharaoh's slaves." So Joseph made a law which everybody in Egypt has to obey. The law says that 1/5 of all food the people grow belongs to Pharaoh. Only the priest's land didn't become Pharaoh's land. This law still has authority today. The Israelites stayed in Egypt, in the region called Goshen. They had their own land there. They gave birth to many children, so that they became very many people. Jacob lived in Egypt for 17 years. His whole life was 147 years. The time came for him to die. So he called his son Joseph to come to him. Jacob said to him, "If you agree, make a serious promise to me. Put your hands between my legs to show that I can trust you. Promise that you will be kind to me and that you will do as I ask. When I die, do not bury me here in Egypt. Carry my body out of Egypt. Bury me in the grave of my ancestors." Joseph said, "I will do as you say." Jacob said, "Promise me that you will do this." Then Joseph made a promise to him. After that, Jacob rested on his bed and he thanked God. Genesis 48. Jacob blesses Joseph's son. After some time, someone told Joseph, "Your father is ill." So Joseph went to see Jacob, and he took his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, with him. Someone told Jacob, "Your son Joseph has come to see you." Jacob's body came stronger, and he sat up on the bed. Jacob said to Joseph, "God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in Canaan. God blessed me there. He said to me, 'I'm going to give you many children, so that your descendants are many. In that way, you will become the ancestor of many nations. I will give this land to you, so that it belongs to your descendants forever.'" Jacob continued to say to Joseph, "You have two sons that were born to you in Egypt before I came here. They will become my own sons. Ephraim and Manasseh will be my sons. But as Reuben and Simon are my sons, any children born to you after them will be your own children. They will receive part of the land that belongs to their brothers Ephraim and Manasseh. As for me, I was very sad when your mother Rachel died on our journey from Padam. She died near to Ephrath, so I buried her there, next to the Lord to Ephrath, that is now called Bethlehem." Jacob brought Ephraim and Manasseh to his father Jacob. Jacob asked him, "Who are these boys?" Joseph replied, "They are the sons that God has given to me here in Egypt." The Israel said, "Bring them near to me so that I can bless them." Jacob's eye had become weak because he was very old. He was almost blind. So Joseph brought his son near to his father. His father kissed them and he hugged them. Jacob said to Joseph, I never thought that I would see you again, but now God has let me see your children too. Then Joseph removed his sons from Jacob's knees. He bent down low, with his face toward the ground. He took his two sons near to Jacob. With his right hand, he put Ephraim beside Jacob's left hand. With his left hand, he put Manasseh beside Jacob's right hand. Jacob then put out his right hand, but he put it on Ephraim's head. Even though Ephraim was the young son, Jacob crossed his arms so that he put his left hand on Manasseh's head. Manasseh was Jacob's firstborn son. Then Jacob blessed Joseph. He said, May God bless these two boys. He is the God that my ancestor Abraham and Isaac served. Like a shepherd takes care of his sheep, God has taken care of me all my life until this day. He is the angel who has kept me safe. I pray that He will bless these boys. I pray that because of them, people will remember my name, and I named of my ancestors Abraham and Isaac. I pray that they will have many descendants who live all over the earth. Joseph saw that his father had put his right hand on Ephraim's head. This made Joseph upset. So he took hold of his father's right hand. He moved it from Ephraim's head on the Manasseh's head. Joseph said to Jacob, No, my father, this boy is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But Jacob refused to change. He said, I know my son. I know what I am doing. Manasseh will also have many descendants who became a great nation. But his younger brother, Ephraim, will become even greater. Ephraim's descendants will become many great nations. So Jacob blessed both of Joseph's sons that day. He said, In your name, Israel's people will give this blessing. May God be good to you, just like He was to Ephraim and Manasseh. In this way, Jacob put Ephraim before Manasseh when he blessed them. Then Jacob said to Joseph, I will die soon, but God will be with you. He will take you back to the land where your ancestors lived. I give to you more than I give to your brothers. I give to you the good part of the land that I took from the Amorites. I fought against them with my weapons to take the land. Jacob blesses his son. Then Jacob called all his sons. He said, Come here to me. Then I can tell you what will happen to you in future years. You son of Jacob, come together now and listen to your father Israel. Reuben, Jacob said, Reuben, you are my firstborn. You were born first. When I was a strong young man, of all my sons, you are the most famous and strongest. Yet you are as wild as the sea. You had sex with your father's slave wife. This bad thing brought me shame. So you will not become great. Shimon and Levi. Simon and Levi are brothers. They use their sword as weapons to destroy people. I will not join them when they decide to do bad things. I will not meet with them. They have killed people when they are angry. They have hurt animals because it makes them happy. Their anger is so strong that God will curse them. Their anger makes them do cruel things. So God will curse them. I'll make your descendants separate from one another. They will live all over the country of Israel. Judah, Judah, your brothers will praise you. You will win against your enemies. Your father's son will bend down toward the ground in front of you. Judah is like a young lion who has eaten good food. He has eaten what he killed and now he rests. Nobody would want to try and wake him up. Judah's descendant will always rule as king. They will continue to hold the stick and the scepter that show the king's authority. They will do that until the man comes who truly has that authority. People from all nations will obey the king. Judah will tie his young donkey to a vine. It will be a vine that has the best grapes. He'll wash his clothes in the red wine that is made from those grapes. His eyes will become red because he drinks so much wine. His teeth will become white because he drinks so much milk. Zebulun will live by the shore of the sea. His town will be a safe place for ships to stay. His land will go far as Sidon. Issachar is like a strong donkey that is lying down between two of its backs. He will see that he has a good place to live with good land. Then he will agree to work hard. He will work like a slave for other people. Then will be a ruler for his people. His descendants will be equal with all tribes of Israel. He is small and dangerous, like a snake that lies beside the Lord. He will be like a snake that bites the legs of horses so that the riders fall off. I trust you to save me from trouble, Lord God. Robbers will attack God, but he will fight back against them. Asher will have much good food. It will be good enough for kings to eat. Naphtali is like a deer that runs freely and gives birth to beautiful babies. Joseph is like a vine that has lots of fruits. It grows near a well and its branches go over a wall. His enemies will attack him with arrows, but he will hold his own bow strongly. He will shoot his arrows well. The mighty one of Jacob will give Joseph strength. God, who is Israel's shepherd and rock, will help him. The Almighty God, the God of your father, will help you and He will bless you. He will give you rain that comes from the sky above. He will give you water that comes from below the ground. He will cause you and your animals to give birth to many children. That is how God will bless you. The blessing that your Father, give to you are great. They are greater than any good things that all mountains or hills can give to you. Their special belongs for you, Joseph, because you are the leader of the brothers. Benjamin is like a hungry wolf. He kills an animal and eats it in the morning. In the evening, he gives that the remains to his people. Oh, these are the 12 tribes of Israel. This is what their father said to them when he blessed them. He told each of his sons, "Let us write for them and their descendants." Jacob dies and Joseph buries him. Then Jacob said to his 12 sons, "I am soon going to die. You must take my dead body back to Canaan. Bury me there with my ancestors. Bury me in the cave in the field that belonged to Hebron the Hittite. The cave is at Machpelah, near Mamre in Canaan." Abram bought this cave from Hebron as a place to bury his family. That is where they buried Abram and his wife Sarah. They also buried Isaac and his wife Rebekah there. I buried Leah there too. Abram bought the cave and the field from the Hittites. Jacob finished telling his sons what they should do. Then he lay down on his bed again. He breathed for the last time and he died there. Genesis 50. Jacob bent down near his father's face. He wept over him and he kissed him. Then Joseph told some of his servants to take Jacob's body. They knew how to put special oil on the body so that it would not become spoiled. Joseph's servant did what he told them to do. The servant took care of the body for 40 days, which is the usual time. The Egyptian wept for 70 days because of Jacob's death. The time for them to weep came to an end. Joseph said to Pharaoh's officer, "If you agree, speak to Pharaoh for me. Tell him this. My father made me make a promise. He said, I'm going to die soon. Bury me in the grave that I prepared for myself in Canaan. So please let me go and bury my father there. Then I will return." Pharaoh said, "Go and bury your father's body in the way that you promised him." So Jacob went to Canaan to bury his father. All Pharaoh's officers went with him. The important people who lived in the Pharaoh's palace, as well as the important Egyptian officers, all went with Joseph. Everyone in Joseph's family also went with him. His brother and their families went, but they didn't take their young children or their animals. They left those in Goshen. Many soldiers also went with them. Some of them rode in carrots and some rode on horses. They came to Ataz, threshing flour, near the river Jordan. They stayed there for 7 days to weep for the death of Jacob. They were very sad. The Canaanite people who lived near there saw how sad Joseph and his people were. So they gave Ataz, threshing floor, a different name. They called it Abel Mizraim. They said, the Egyptians are showing that they are very sad because an important person has died. So Jacob's son did what he had told them to do. They carried his body to Canaan. They buried him there in the cave in the field at Machpelah near Mamre. That is the cave that Abraham had bought from Ephron the Hittite. He had bought it as grave for him and for his family. When Joseph had buried his father, he returned to Egypt together with his brothers. Everyone who had gone to Canaan with him also returned to Egypt. Now Jacob was dead, and Joseph's brothers became frightened. They said to each other, "We did a bad thing to Joseph. Now he will be angry and he will punish us for what we did." So they sent a message to Joseph. They said, "Your father said this to us before he died. He told us to say to you, please forgive your brothers for the very bad things that they did against you. They did a very cruel thing to you, so please forgive our sin. We are servants of your father's God." When Joseph received their message, he was very upset and he wept. His brothers came to see him. They bent down low to the ground in front of Joseph. They said to him, "We are your slaves." But Joseph said to them, "Do not be afraid of me. It is God who has the authority to punish people. I am not God. You decide to hurt me. But God caused a good thing to happen because of that. God brought me here to save the lives of many people. You can see how that has really happened. So don't be afraid. I will continue to take care of you. You and your children will receive what you need." In this way, Joseph comforted them and he spoke kind words to them. Joseph dies. Joseph lived in Egypt together with his father's family. He lived for 110 years, and he was still alive to see Abraham's children and grandchildren. He also saw Malchus' children. Malchus was Manasseh's son. Jacob took Malchus' children to be his own children. Then Joseph said to his brothers, I'm going to die soon, but God will come to you and He will help you. He will take you out of Egypt. He will take you back to the land and that He promised to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He also said, God will help you to leave Egypt. When that happens, you must carry my bones away from here. Joseph made the other sons of Israel promise that they would do that. So Joseph died when he was 110 years old. They put special oil on his body so that he would not become spoiled. Then they put his body in a box there in Egypt.